Welcome to MRL. In this learning session, we'll be learning about quadratic equation, rather different aspects of quadratic equation. As you know, this is the third part of the quadratic equation learning session. Now here we'll be learning as to what is discriminant and how to find out the nature of roots without actually finding the roots by different methods of finding the roots. Now what is discriminant first of all? Discriminant is a value which enables us to discriminate the nature of roots of a quadratic equation, and the discriminant is represented by the symbol D. Now the value is obtained by the relation b square minus 4ac. That means the discriminant d is equal to b square minus 4ac. So we can find out the value of d by substituting the values of a, b, c of the given quadratic equation in this, and we get the value of d. So d is discriminant. So where a here is the coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x, and c is a constant of the given quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So we have to find out the value of d first of all. Now after having found out the value of d, then we can understand the nature of roots. Now there are three possibilities that d can be equal to 0, d can be greater than 0, d can be less than 0. If d is equal to 0, then the roots are real and equal. If d is greater than 0, the roots are real and distinct, and d is less than 0, the roots are imaginary, or the roots do not exist. Now let us consider a few examples to understand discriminant and also how the roots can be, the nature of the roots can be identified. Now given one more equation here, that is 2x square minus 5x minus 1 equal to 0, we have to find out the nature of roots. Now we know that d is equal to b square minus 4ac. Now the value of a is 2 here, b is minus 5, c is minus 1. Put the values here, we get d is equal to 33, and that means d is greater than 0. If d is greater than 0, the roots are real and distinct. That is how we identify the nature of roots. If the roots are real and distinct, then we can find the roots by one of the methods of finding the roots which we have already learned. Now coming to the next example, given 4x square minus 4x plus 1 equal to 0, we have to find the nature of roots. D is equal to b square minus 4ac, that is discriminant is equal to b square minus 4ac. Put the values of a, b and c, we get d is equal to 0. If d is equal to 0, the roots are real and equal. So that we can again verify by solving this equation by one of the methods of finding the roots. Now the third one is, given x square minus 2x plus 3 equal to 0, we have to find the nature of roots, find the values of a, b, c, substitute in this equation d is equal to b square minus 4ac, we get d is equal to minus 8, which is less than 0. Therefore the roots are imaginary, or roots do not exist. We can solve this equation by one of the methods and verify. Therefore remember, nature of roots can be known by the value of d. The nature of roots can be known by the value of d. Verify by finding the roots by one of the solving methods using quadratic formula. So therefore remember, the discriminant d enables us to know the nature of roots, but if you want to find the roots, then we have to go by one of the methods of finding the roots. Now solving equations reducible to standard form, that is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Now let us understand this through an example. Now here we have been given an equation which is not in standard form. Now to find the roots of this particular equation, which is we have to find out the standard form. Now to find the standard form, the method is very simple. Now write 1 by x minus 3 plus 1 by x plus 5 is equal to 1 by 3. Now LCM of the denominator is x minus 3, x plus 5 and 3. Multiply this LCM throughout. Multiply the first term with LCM, second term with LCM, and third term with LCM, and then you will find that x minus 3 cancels with x minus 3, x plus 5 cancels with x plus 5, and 3 and 3 cancel. That means I have eliminated the denominator. That is the best method of solving or bringing any given equation in standard form. Eliminate the denominator first, and that is done by a simple method. Find the LCM of the denominator, multiply each term by the LCM, then the denominators get eliminated. So I have eliminated the denominators. Now once you eliminate the denominator, then we get 3 in the bracket x plus 5 plus 3 in the bracket x minus 3 is equal to x minus 3 into x plus 5. This becomes a very simple equation. Open the brackets, simplify LHS and RHS, and bring it in a standard form, that is x square minus 4x minus 21 equal to 0 is the standard form of a quadratic equation. So once we get this the standard form of quadratic equation. Now we can go for solving this to find out the roots of quadratic equation. We can use the quadratic formula. As you know, x is equal to minus b plus minus root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. We know the values of a, b and c. Substitute these values in this and simplify. After simplification, we get x is equal to 4 plus minus 10 upon 2. That means x is equal to 4 plus 10 upon 2 and x is equal to 4 minus 10 upon 2. Again simplifying, we get x is equal to 7 and x is equal to minus 3, and they are the roots of the quadratic equation, which was not in standard form. We convert into standard form, then we use the quadratic formula, found out the roots. Remember that. Now coming to the next very important, of course, we have to know this: framing and solving quadratic equations of verbal problems. We are learning quadratic equation basics to understand how to use it, frame equations and solve the verbal problems given to us. Now for that, first important step is read the verbal statements and understand. First, whenever you are given verbal problems, read the statements again and again and understand the statements first. Then go for framing an equation, taking the variables as required. So first is read the statement thoroughly, understand the statement, frame equations, you are taking variables required. Now after that, reduce the equation to a standard form. This is the third step. Reduce it into standard form, that is x square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Then solve this quadratic equation by one of the solving methods to find out the values of the variables. And you can use the quadratic formula also. The values of the variables is the values of the unknown in the problem. So learn the procedure by solving simple verbal statements first and then go for other lengthy and difficult statements. So therefore remember this, the solving a quadratic equation is a very important it has a very important application in finding out the unknowns in verbal problems. So framing an equation is a very important step in solving verbal problems, and for that you have to understand the verbal statement thoroughly and then frame an equation, bring it in standard form, solve it by using one of the methods to know the unknowns